Welcome to the Aberdeen Wings Coaches Show, everybody, and joining us now is Coach Francis Anzalone. Thanks for taking some time.
Thank you, Ward.
Well, hey, we talk about it. The season is off to a run now. You guys got a couple of conference game or divisional games in, and how do you think the team's shaping up now?
So far, so good. I thought on Friday night, the game is 60 minutes long, and I thought for the 60 minutes from start to finish, we were pretty good. We got into some trouble in spurts. We turned the puck over in the middle of the rink a little bit too much and a little bit on the wall, and then I thought we went into Brookings and played real well on Saturday. So we're 6 games into the regular season, and there's a lot of work to do. We're happy, not satisfied, but we like our start. All in all, in the first 6, we like where we are.
Yep, 4 games in Blaine for the Showcase Tournament. Now we talk about, you kind of briefly talked about it, but let's get a little bit more in depth. The Bismarck game, a 2-1 game, essentially, with the empty netter towards the end of the game, made it 3-1. But how do you think the guys fared up against that NAHL Central opponent?
I thought we were pretty good. I think I used the term spurts a minute ago. I thought in spurts we got into some issues. We turned the puck over a little too much in the middle of the rink. We tried to use the middle of the rink at some inopportune times. Some of the errors were forced, some of them were unforced. I thought in the third period we got into a little bit of trouble along the wall. We got out-muscled for a few shifts. They were a little more desperate than we were, and I thought at 2-1 we didn't provide the pushback that we needed to have at certain moments. But all in all, I think what stunk the most for us about the game on Saturday or Friday was just the outcome.
Yeah.
We wanted to get a win in front of our fans. We knew that we're 1,600 strong, but you got to take the good and the not so good, and I thought that we were good at times in the game, and I thought we went in on Saturday and we showed that we learned, and we played a much better road game.
Well, we'll get a little bit of redemption in a couple of weeks when the Bismarck Bobcats come back here to the Odie Ice Center. Then we went on the road to Brookings, and a different outcome there, 4-1 win for the Aberdeen Wings. What was the difference between Friday night and Saturday night for our guys?
I thought on Saturday our mentality was a little bit better. We went into Brookings. We sort of acknowledged that they were going to have moments in the game, whether it was because they're a good team or it's their home opener where they were going to have possession of the puck. And I thought we defended better. I thought we transitioned the puck harder. We like to say that our defensemen are our pulse. I thought they did a better job transitioning. I thought the forwards did a better job helping and supporting. And then we got real key saves at key times from Andrew Shortridge, who played a heck of a game on the road. So we were better kind of with the road mindset in Brookings, and we bent but didn't break at certain moments where we had to accept that they had the puck and they were going to have time of possession. And I thought we buried our chances. I mean, Bjorn Sigurdarsson went in on a 2-on-1 and buried his chance. We cashed in a little bit more on Saturday, obviously, as evidenced by the scoreboard. So all those things combined into one, not to underestimate the key saves at key times from Shortridge, helped us have a better outcome.
He did have a great game, and we do want to say congratulations to the Brookings Blizzard. They had a record attendance at their home opener on Saturday. It's always great to see the NAHL Central continue to evolve and get bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger. Well, we also asked on Facebook and on Twitter to send in your questions for Coach, so if you have some time, we'll ask a few of those for you. And these come from our fans, whether they be via email, which you can email me, whilger@aberdeenwings.com, or you can inbox our Facebook page, and we'll get these questions to Coach Anzalone. First question comes from Carole. She says, what position did you play when you played in hockey?
I was a goaltender. I played goalie for a number of years and started when I was young, and I was fascinated by the equipment when I was a little guy. And so it was the position that I decided I wanted to play, and that's what I played all through the end of my playing career.
Great. And our next question comes from Scott H. Is your coaching philosophy the same or similar to Coach Winter? I'm assuming of Coach Winter of last year.
I would say that it's very, very similar. The great thing about Travis and I, we're real good friends, and we worked together for 4 years leading up to our time together in Aberdeen, is we see the game the same. We believe in treating people very similarly, so we see it the same kind of where it matters most. I think we share in the same values, not only with regard to on-ice play, but also off-ice, how you run your program, how you treat your players. And I think our personalities are different. No two people are the same. But as far as philosophically and ethically And from a value standpoint, Travis and I are very, very similar and definitely much more similar than we are different.
Our next question comes from Kathy Jensen, and Kathy's always liking our posts on Facebook. Says she loves the Wings, hardly ever misses a home game, but she has an oddball question. Which player is the messiest on the Aberdeen Wings roster?
I think that's a better question for the players themselves. Maybe we can pose that to Captain Kyle Haker, one of the other guys, because I honestly don't know the answer to that, and that's actually a compliment to our players. We have a structure back in the dressing room where we want the stalls all looking the same. We want the locker room well kept and taken care of, and the guys are doing such a good job that I really can't answer that question. Now, Kathy, I know there is a messy guy in the bunch. I can guarantee it. I just don't know who it is, and that's not me taking the easy way out of this question. I have no idea who our messiest player is, but I'm sure we can find that out for you.
In the organization, it could be assistant coach Mike Gratton, though, right?
Coach Gratton's office needs a little bit of work. I'm spick and span, and he's got a couple boxes in different corners of the room. But sometimes they say that the messy office means that that's the guy that's working the hardest because he's got stuff everywhere. But I'd say it's Coach Gratton in our organization.
Next question comes from Brenda J. She says she doesn't know much about hockey, so she's asking another oddball question. She says, which rough and tough player is the biggest teddy bear? I'm assuming she means teddy bear off the ice.
I would say there are two, and you might not guess it if you watch them play, which I think is to your point about the question. And for me, it's Drew Doyon and Austin Swingle. They both play the game very hard. They're not afraid to go nose and nose or neck and neck with the opposition, as they say. But Drew is one of the most wonderful people you'll ever meet off the ice. I'm sure there's a lot of our fans nodding along right now because he's great with the fans. He's great with the little Cougar players. He's got that look in his eyes on the ice, but off the ice he's a teddy bear. And Austin Swingle, if he lets his facial hair grow out, you probably wouldn't stop and ask him for directions on the street. But if you did, he would give you great directions. He's a wonderful guy, both good leaders, good second-year players, somewhat of a teddy bear attitude off the ice, but on it they play it hard, and that's how we like them.
Well, again, if you want to ask a coach a question for next week's Aberdeen Wings Coaches Show, you can go online to the Aberdeen Wings Facebook page and inbox us with a message, or you can email me, whilger@aberdeenwings.com. And, Coach, I just want to kind of focus in on some of the players and some of the key positions, I guess, we want to talk about a little bit. Let's talk about the blue line. We've got 8 outstanding players that have all seen some time this year so far in the 14-15 season. Tell us about our defensemen that are hanging around on the blue line.
I like our D a lot. We have a few guys back from last year, obviously, including Daniel Billett, who's an assistant captain, who, as we all know, last week committed to Bemidji State. He is a leader on the back end for us. He plays a lot of big minutes. We have Tanner Okeson, Matt Bredigan, and Derek Famula back. Famer actually played his first game of the season in our home opener. He's coming back from a back injury. And then we have some tendered, drafted, and free agent players on the blue line who've done quite well for us. So we've got to have good defensemen. We like to play a pace game. As I said a couple minutes ago, the D are kind of like our pulse. One of the things we did real well last year was transition the puck. And we've done pretty well at that this year, and that takes a lot of work and a lot of practice. But we have a good mix of defensemen, Ward, who can skate. They've got some bite to them. They're willing to defend. They're good in transition. They like to play direct. You have to have a lot of different pieces on the blue line. We have a pretty big D core. Our smallest D man is about 5'11 and a half. We've got a number of 190, 195, 200-pound defensemen, and we like our D men to be big. We like our D men to be able to skate, and we like to have defensemen that can transition the puck. And we like what we have here.
You bet. And coming up this weekend, we'll be on the road to take on the Austin Bruins. Coach, the Austin Bruins is a big name in the NAHL. Central champions last year, of course, just in our division. Not only that, but they also made an appearance at the Robertson Cup against the Fairbanks Ice Dogs. How do we match up against them?
I think we match up pretty well. They have a heck of a team this year. They're very, very well coached. They're consistently one of the top teams in the Central Division. They came just roaring out of the gate in Blaine, and they had an incredible 4-0 week at the NAHL Showcase, and then they split on the weekend. This past weekend, they fell to Minot to 4-0 on Friday night, and then on Saturday, they edged Bismarck. They've got a real good team. They have a number of very good first-year players. Obviously, they lose Dickman, who aged out, and they lose Guillaume Leclerc, who's up in the USHL, but they have they have a number of quality players back, and they have a number of real good first-year players, and they have 2 young goalies who've given them a chance every night they've been in the net, in Keeley and Driscoll. So I think we're going to have a heck of a time in Austin. I like our team. I like their team. And here we go again. It's going to be another one of these Central Division battles. And we saw that this weekend. I mean, we went into Brookings and we had to play our backsides off to get the win. We're going to have to do the same thing in Austin. Then it's going to be the same when they come here, and the same in 8 weeks, no matter who we play. Every game in this division is going to be a battle. And I think that the teams that are around for the playoffs are all going to be better because of it.
And every team in the division right now is not unvulnerable. Austin lost at Minot 4-0 last weekend. So, it's definitely a wide open division. How do the Aberdeen Wings, do they prepare differently for each opponent, or do we have a set mindset and then adjust it a little bit for each team?
There are a couple tweaks or a couple additions that we'll maybe make to practice. We might show a couple video clips here and there of the other team's power play. It's very early, so it's really hard to pre-scout the opponent because everybody's still figuring some things out about their team, structurally, personnel-wise. So for us right now, again, we continue to kind of focus on ourselves. We'll spend a little bit of time on the opposition, and then as we get going, we'll learn more about the opponent. And then once we get halfway to 3/4 through the year, because we play our divisional opponents so much in the Central Division, and in this league, all the division teams play each other, you start to really get to know your opponent, and you understand their tendencies, and you still pre-scout them, but you don't have to say as much to your players because playing Austin, Bismarck, Minot, Brookings has become so routine. So it's kind of a happy medium. It's a balance. And right now, I would say we're more focused on us than we are on them.
Good. Well, Coach, thanks for taking some time today on the Aberdeen Wings Coach Show.
Okay, thank you very much.
Coming up this weekend, we are at Austin, both Friday and Saturday. Both of those games will be broadcast on 94.1 The Rock. You can also listen online at espnaberdeen.com, aberdeenwings.com. You can also watch and listen at fasthockey.com. You can also follow the Wings on Twitter and Facebook for up-to-the-minute live updates from the game. And you can check out all the things from there and tweets and game updates. Like them, share them, let everybody know about Wings Nation. So we will see you in a couple of weeks here at the ODI Center, but this weekend, cheer on your Aberdeen Wings as they take on the Austin Bruins. It's been the Aberdeen Wings Coach Show.
I don't understand. Oh, for the weekend, look at